GLL PUBG Season 4 halftime show, our last half. I know it sounds weird to have more than one half, but this is day number 3, and we've got 3 maps to go. But before we start talking about the crescendo, we have to look back on the morning. Games 13, 14, and 15. 2 on Miramar, 1 on, I was about to say Mirage, by the way, you could have slapped me for that, and 1 on Sandhawk. So that was a bit surprising, I think, the fact that we started out on Miramar. And the biggest points haul of this tournament in one single game comes from Meta.
By a team you wouldn't expect. But then, you know, they played it perfectly. You could just see at the end clip there how elated they were at the win. It obviously means a lot to them to come out here and get a win under their belt.
Yeah, I mean, every tournament I track the 16K club who can kill a fourth of the lobby. And I expected to see at least 2 or 3 of them potentially in this tournament, as the average is like 5. Meta, the first team to break that threshold, and
the average per times that it happens in an event, you mean is 5. Okay,
yeah.
Yep.
3 to 5 at the, like, and that's about the high end there on the 5. That said, though, like, these guys came out. I went over and talked to them afterwards. They seem like they're very confident, and I wish that they had just shown up with that on day 1.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if they all showed up on day 1, that might have helped too.
Touche.
Literally showed up. They were down a man early on. But yes, you are. I get what the mentality of what your sentimentality of what you're saying still stands. Yes, they were very hesitant, very passive. Today they look like they just want to steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge achievement to come out here and do that. Another one we talk about from the same region, to be honest with you, is Singularity.
Yeah.
But
that's placement, man.
That still is kind of mind-blowing to see them up there in 4th place, considering, you know, we gave them a bit of stick on day 1, gave them a bit more stick on day 2, but actually, you know, quietly they've been racking up points in the background. Not the big kill wins that we expect from some of these teams, but you know, I guess the Sandhawk win yesterday was what really turned the tide for them.
The first map, again, we say the highest points total in an individual map comes from Meta. That's not WTSG, despite their big league. That's hugely impressive. But there's another team, 2 teams I want to give a quick shout out to. Na'Vi was aggressive in that game. Yeah. Good rotations in San Martin. You had Senya actually sacrificing himself to cover his team and allow them to cross to the green school. I thought that was good positional control. But you also had Tornado finally putting up a good kill total. I think 10 kills for them in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to see the CIS.
Yeah, I kind of lobbed that one out there.
I was there. It was a question.
It was a high pass. I was waiting.
No, but it's nice to see the CIS come alive in this tournament. Like, traditionally at GLL, that is a region that does exceedingly well and wins. Like, I think every GLL has been won by a CIS team outside of sort of the Grand Slam situation. That said, they just haven't really been here so far. And I think being on the bottom or in the middle, not having anything to lose today, is benefiting those teams as well as like Meta and stuff, where they're just coming out and playing.
Play balls to the wall on the last day. Again, like you said, it nailed it absolutely. Nothing to lose, you know. Let's play to our strengths. And again, those teams, they have explosive play styles, you know. They want to come and they want to be aggressive. They want to push everything, take team fights, and they're demonstrating that.
I agree. There is another part of this storyline. First and foremost, Faze on Phase 6 finally got involved. They rotated around the top side of the circle, and WTSG had a poor showing. They actually had 0 kills for one of the first times in this event, and 6th place, so they only, I think, achieved something like 6 points for that.
Yes, it's fascinating.
Yet no one else really took advantage.
Nobody's taking advantage, but here's the reality of the situation. We came in today, WTSG is way ahead, who can catch them, 11.5 points per game, blah, blah, blah. The problem is, what I see right now is I actually went and talked to Shung after this, or Samty as we often know him, and said, what's the plan today? You know, are we just sending mid? And he said, yep, that's the plan. Because they're maintaining, sort of defending their position. They're going to the middle every time.
Damage limited, like damage control.
Limited damage.
Yeah.
But
no, I wouldn't say damage control. They're just trying to cross the finish line.
Damage mitigation. You cross the finish line. The problem is anyone who's played sort of team sports and been ahead before, I don't care if it's hockey or soccer or anything like that, when you start to turtle, when you start to play defensive, when you're playing rope-a-dope with your back against, you know, just defending to get through the round, you start to drop points to your opponents little by little. And that's where Omaken, I think, is starting to surprise a lot of people with how hard they're working right now.
And we'll get to that, because Omaken, obviously, Game 3 is going to be a feature. First and foremost, though, I do want to hear from Meta, because what, again, performance from them out of absolutely nowhere. What's the thought process? Kat actually got to catch up with them after Game 1, so we'll find out right now.
What an amazing start to the day. I'm joined here with Meta Gaming's Sparking. First of all, you guys are pretty low on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
How did you guys turn it around, or what changes have you made in the tournament?
Like the first day was a little bit disappointed because we played with 3 men. So basically we played just 1 day before this game. And yesterday we just did 2 good games, and we need to play like these 2 games. And now we just like reset the minds and let's do again. Let's grow up.
Something about Miramar, which is so incredible, is not only can there be city enders, but there's a lot of terrain to play around. Around phase 4, and I hope you remember this, half of San Martin was in the zone, and half of the, South San Martin was also in. Whose decision was it, and why did you guys either play in the city or in the terrain?
We stayed in Hacienda because we know a lot of people needs to rotate, and we just stay there and try to kill everyone. Because we know to get inside the city is more easier to get out.
Well, thank you so much for the interview and good luck on the rest of your games.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you, bye. How polite. Thank you, next, Ariana Grande style. Interesting points to be made. Obviously, they decided to hold their ground and got a lot of kills for it. That was a huge amount of kills. 17.
I think one of the most interesting things he said was sort of we need to grow up, and I don't necessarily think he meant that exactly as the translation played out. I think he meant we need to, step up, climb up the roster. But I think that's a funny point that they are growing up right now. They are a young team, 2 17-year-olds, 2 20-year-olds, and I think that their play today has shown a maturity. In a lot of ways, they are growing up here and becoming sort of the potential for the future.
So we touched on it. There's your leaderboard. Obviously, the Incredibles, 27 points. A ridiculous haul over that of Navi. In fact, more than double anyone else in the server at that time. 14 points more. And Tornado, I'll touch on theirs just quickly again. 10 points, 9 kills. I said 10 kills, excuse me. But 1 placement point, and still they finish in 3rd. Pretty remarkable. But WTSG, way down 11th place, 2 points only. Now, Liquid as well, by the way, went out 16th. They were in a position to potentially capitalize and try and close that gap. More importantly, they're in a position where they're fighting for 2nd place in this tournament. That was a hugely underwhelming performance. With WTSG that far down, Omaken was the one that needed to capitalize. They did close the gap by 4 points, so at the end of this game, it was down to 40 points.
Yeah, and I think actually, just coming back to metagaming quickly again, that point acquisition in game 1, if they have another game like that, it's going to bring them to the top 8, which is something that we didn't even consider a possibility yesterday. So coming out on the last day, and we talk about growing up and manning up and stuff like that. It takes a lot to bounce back from things that are in your control and out your control. Obviously, day 1, it's out of their control. Day 2, they didn't really do anything still. So hats off to them to come back and have an explosive start.
I think the reality is we sort of looked at that first leaderboard, and we're going to move to the second shortly. Is this idea that when someone's in the lead and they leave the door open, it's your job not to just sort of backfill a little bit, but to sort of kick that door down and get more points. The teams that need to aren't, right? So we saw Omaken pick up a few, but on the next game, we'll get to that in a minute, they don't. And it's actually opened up the middle of this bracket significantly more than when we started today. When I started, there were 4 teams, maybe 5 sort of vying for 2nd place. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I think we're up to maybe 7 or 8 teams that with 1 or 2 good games could be vying for that 2nd location.
Well, again, Liquid won to pick up in the first 2 games. They got 2 points.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not enough.
Shoot to Kill has had up and down games in terms of how they're out there. So all these teams that we were like, oh, these are pursuable positions, they aren't doing it.
Yeah. Well, and pursuable positions, but there's people on the bottom that are trying to climb to the top.
Yeah.
Game 14, that happened as well. We had another team with an incredible win that hasn't had much so far in this event. I think it's their 2nd chicken dinner. We'll get to that, of course, Exodus. But before we do, let's hear from them directly from Kat.
What an incredible game by Exodus. Now, I'm joined on the floor with Pat Caps, right? Right, Pat Caps. Now, first of all, it's a North American team. It's been a little bit slow for that region. Talk me through those final moments. You guys had a team on your right and on your left. Who did you pick to fight, and why did you pick to fight them?
We weren't really sure what the numbers were at the time because we were getting into a lot of fights, so it's hard to keep track. But once Faze got a knock on SNG, then we knew that SNG was in a bit of a bad spot, and then I knocked another one, so then we knew they had to be 3, and Faze was the other one. So after that, it was just pretty easy for us. We had like a high ground ridge, and yeah.
Well, you guys did a phenomenal job in that fight. One thing I would like to touch base on is that is a lot of open area for you guys. I know there's a lot of ridges, and you guys use a ton of utility there. How important late game is it to holding on to that utility for you guys?
Yeah, it's really important, but in that game we actually used a lot of our utility kind of early, and then everyone else in the server was doing the same thing, so we were looting bodies and they just didn't have smokes, they didn't have nades, so it got kind of scary at the end, but we were able to pull through.
Well, thank you so much and good luck on the rest of your games. That's all from me.
Pat Caps, by the way, had an incredible performance individually. 8 kills. There was 13 for Exodus. He had 8 of those, as I say. And interesting that he mentions who they choose to fight between Singularity and Faze at the end, because keep in mind, that Faze battle, you've got to draw that back a little bit. That was the circle, similar to the first one. We kind of hovered around the cliff, the Death Valley and San Martin. This one kind of went a little more west, ended just outside of Power Grid. And actually, That's where Faze was trying to battle out from, and Exodus forced them north. The only reason they got there is because Meta and Singularity already engaged on each other, and then at that point, Exodus actually just cut off the bottom of the circle, and they were both left out there.
Yeah, I mean, the Faze were in control of that game for a lot of it, and we had two unfortunate shifts pulling back to the west, as you already said. If they didn't lose numbers there, you know, it comes straight into pretty much a 50-50. And those sorts of engagements in the end game, one ridge can be the defining factor between that. If you're down a player, you haven't got the ability to spread out, get more angles, things like that. But Exodus played it really, really well, considering, you know, we haven't seen them too much. Obviously, they had the win on day one, but this is the second time we're seeing them come back and look really, really comfortable in the late game.
Placement points for Faze 5. They actually ended up in third, but 14 points, 9 kills. They actually wiped and completely dominated Wildcard in this game at one point in time. And then pushed as well to... can't read my own writing, but I think they finished off Meta was the second team they got after that rotation before they kind of got stuck by Exodus. So decent start to the game, as you say. They controlled a lot of it.
Well, I think what we're seeing teams commit to is raid bossing right now. This idea that sort of you start taking fights early, and maybe you don't have to get the best attachments when you start. Maybe you don't have to get all the utility in the world, but as you wipe teams, you just sort of replace the gear, you get the attachments, you get the better guns, and you just keep rolling forward. And that's why when we see teams that do these sort of like 15K or I would say 12 to 15K games, they're just brutal at the end of it, because if they keep 4 up, they're just so geared, so kitted, they've got fresh utility from the last fight that they can come in and put in a lot of work. I think since PUBG Core or Grafted changed the way that the durability works on vests and you can replace things after fights, it's made doing that a lot more functional.
If the narrative is about WTSG's poor performance in the first game and the point gap that essentially needed to be 8 points at 40, 5 games left, 8 points a game, that's how much that Omaken had to close it down by. It didn't really go to plan this time. WTSG did enough to, I think, secure 6 points, as it were. Samty had to snake in again, so it was a bit awkward start for them, but Omaken did nothing. I think they went out super early, and I don't even think they secured a point. I didn't quite catch the leaderboard.
No, and that's the point, though. I mean, Omaken went out early and they got 1 point, so I think they got 1 kill. Whatever it is, 0 to 1, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, that's where you have to be kicking down the door. And every time a team seems to grab a little bit of the slack away from WTSG, they like go it on the next round. And you can't win tug of war if you're constantly giving up space.
Yeah, and I think actually, you know, especially seeing that in the kill feed again, obviously WTSG taking early casualties, maybe that was a step change for Omaken, and you know, they tried to execute something to kind of make the, you know, the game-winning play, so to say, you know, through the mid game. But unfortunately, in this case, you know, they didn't even manage to get a consolation prize, a couple of kill points before going out.
Team Liquid, I said, was 16th in the 13th map game 1 this morning. They were 15th, excuse me. They were 16th in this one. So 2 games in a row, you said 2 points, that's it.
It wasn't actually Meta that wiped them in the
Meta had a great second game as well. Meta didn't necessarily get the same placement at the end, but they had a really good kill total, and they were aggressive at the start, so they kept that same mentality.
They're stepping up and doing what they should do, and I think what's happening is they're catching some of these big dogs off guard, right?
Again, confidence boosters. You wipe Liquid, you're like, guys, you know what? Like,
well, and Meta catches one. Say Meta catches one of Liquid, and you sort of they chuckle, right? Okay, well, let's turn around and get the wipe, kind of like they did with Wildcard yesterday. But Meta, I think they're on their game. They feel good. The whole team's here, not at an airport, and that's the key, is they're catching some of these big dogs off guard, and these teams that have been struggling are shaking up what we expect in terms of performance from those guys.
Well, that was game 14. 14, by the way, our last on Miramar. So game 15, we switched to Sanok. We just have Erangel left, 3 to go. Sanok, we know it's been a bit of a saving map for some teams that have had slow starts. They can get rolling, they can get aggressive, they can get into the fight situationally.
May I remind you, last time we started with Miramar, Liquid struggled. They went to Sandhawk, they got a 12-banger, and then they came out into Erangel and absolutely just mopped up. Today, not so great on Miramar. They go to Sandhawk, they get a 10-banger in 3rd place. I expect them to go to Erangel and just start to mop up.
And I know from Liquid's perspective, they're a little further back, but 40 points, we know that over a 3-map spread, the highest point total so far is 51. That was WTSG. Exalt got 50 on day 1 in the first 3 maps. It's possible. Obviously, the biggest factor right now is how WTSG manages the situation. It's theirs to lose, but it's winnable.
It's very possible, especially for a team like Liquid. Again, Omaken, the way they're playing, it's very possible for them as well. Highly improbable, as we said. We were thinking about the terminology for this, but again, you know, if Liquid do bounce back and they have 3 really solid Erangel games, and again, I don't want to throw them under the bus, but WTSG again play this, you know, damage control play style and don't pick up, you know, enough points to kind of keep themselves clear, then they could be in trouble, honestly.
I mean, yes, the problem that I have is when we go back to the beginning of this tournament, WTSG's quietest games were on Miramar, and their biggest were on Erangel. So they're in the same position Liquid is.
Actually, they did well on both the military circles. Again, the plane crash ending versus STK. They got themselves a stack of kills.
They started the first 2 Miramar maps of this tournament at, I think, 12 and 14th place, 2 and 4 kills, something like that.
We'll get to Miramar, excuse me. We'll get to Erangel in a second in terms of military circles and shifts. But first and foremost, we're going to shift our attention to the floor. Kat actually got a chance to catch up with Omaken because them winning Game 3 really lights a fire under this tournament.
Oh my gosh, we have Omaken Gaming on the floor. What a fantastic game. Talk me through those final moments. I don't know if you guys knew this. It was 3 full squads. In those situations, do things change? Did you guys know that there was 3 full squads, including you guys?
We did guess it, but I mean, we sort of knew Liquids was down the hill already, Exodus. We wasn't sure if there's any snakes, so we're trying to clear our angles and whatnot, but it's still just team fights. You've got to win them no matter what, if it's 4 or less, so pretty much the same plan.
That's pretty impressive because I think a lot of teams don't know that normally they're just against stacked teams in that end circle. One thing I want to touch base on is you guys are in 2nd place. Is it doable? Can you guys take that 1st place spot from WTSG? And what will it take?
I mean, we're going to try. We'll do our best, but they're playing pretty good right now, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, thank you so much, and that is all from me on the floor.
It was the quietest of the wins in terms of the fact that Omaken, yes, they get the 10 placement points. They only had 6 kills, but you have to look at the other side of the equation. That, of course, being WTSG. 4 points only for them. That brings the gap, although it's not the 40 points that it was after Game 1 this morning, it is something like 33 points now. So they were able to close that down a little bit.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out before we move too far away from them. Omaken coming out on top there. T-Bone, I think the best PUBG talent ever to come out of Great Britain, or England as you want to say. Really, I don't think there's anybody else from that area that's been as good as T-Bone.
No.
What do you think, Hypoc?
No, there's absolutely none. Actually, I'm racking my brain thinking about it. It's weird.
They only produce good speaking English talent. They don't, in server, it's a bit of a miss.
They don't produce
right
them,
now.
do they?
No, well, you know, I've been saying that for a while, but don't tell some people I know that. That said, incredible performance from T-Bone. I agree. He's been on top of the kill totals all day long, but this is the leaderboard, top to bottom, 150 points for WTSG. Slow start this morning, and Omaken are turning up the heat. Liquid are falling behind, however. That was a 2-point spread at the start of the day in favor of Liquid, and now Omaken go 11 points clear, which is significant. And Singularity, you're absolutely right, continuing to hold on. More placement points than kill points. That says everything about their playstyle so far.
But again, I think this comes down to, for me, Hypoc, that Liquid and WTSG are about to hit maps where they turn on. Omaken got their first win of the tournament on Miramar, and we're moving away from that now. So Omaken needs to take this break, really double down on what they're going to do on Erangel, and stick to a very strong plan. Yeah,
the one that still stands out to me is Team Liquid's placement point. Yeah. That just doesn't... That doesn't feel right when you look at it, does it? But again, they've got themselves a stack of 70 kills. And again, that Sanhok game, it came down to, you know, the end game situation was a bit chaotic, but I feel like they bit off more than they could chew, really.
I also want to point out, Team Singularity is the team on that list that's playing for placement. 53 placement points. WTSG still has more placement points than a team that's literally designed around getting placement points. So that's, I think, where they terrify me the most. But I got to give kudos to Singularity, because at the beginning of the tournament, I said up here, that is a very difficult way to perform, because you can't have a bad game, and they've managed to maintain that consistency in a way I haven't seen in a long time.
Their macro game is obviously there.
Yes,
it's
ridiculously
there.
good. Yeah, unfortunately they aren't finding the kills. Someone who is a stone cold killer is Toby, though, and he has a breakdown from our last game on Miramar.
Sometimes Sadokist we do breakdowns of the big things. Sometimes you just gotta praise when insane plays happen. I really just want to see the miracle nade again. Can we get that going? Can we show the nade again? That doesn't. It's an impact nade. He cooks it to perfection. It doesn't get better than that. That's all for me. Thank you. I got what I wanted there. Thanks.
Sorry.
That's remarkable insight, Toby. Thank you for that. Incredible nade. We were all actually blown away by the accuracy of that. I said Miramar, by the way, Sanhok.
No, it's fine. I mean, there are rare instances in the green room where, you know, someone like me chooses to stand up when I don't have to. And I think all of us jumped out of the couches.
Self-deprecating humor at its finest.
But all of us jumped out of the couches and we're like, oh, like that was incredible.
It's weird, actually, yeah, because we were just talking about a player from the UK actually doing something good, so... It's not just T-bone.
No, it's not.
There are a
But
couple
we got,
of
we got
there are
a T-bone
couple
and
of
a
out
cooked
there.
nade. I'm thinking, I'm getting a little hungry right now. That's all I have to say. Here is the most damage. We haven't looked at this stat too often in this event. We've looked at the highest kills.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, Nalup is up there, but yet he's nowhere near on the kill total. Luke 12 as well. And Sparkings? Where did that come from for meta?
I actually want to know how much of Nalup's damage came from the first 3 games on day 1. Because I'm sorry, and again, this isn't to be overly critical, but we haven't seen Exalt. We've talked about it a number of times. Yeah. They've been, in the background, but that's impressive for Nalup to still be up there. That's a testament to how he's playing.
They still have more points in the first 3 games than the other, what have we done now? Maths. 9 games combined, which is a ridiculous amount. Actually, excuse me, 12 games combined now because we're 3 into today as well. So that says a lot about that team. And we were expecting things from them on Miramar this morning. Maybe this would be their return to form. Yesterday, they kind of got things moving again in the afternoon. It didn't really happen. And this is the comparison that I was making. Yeah. Damage is one thing in PUBG, but obviously you can revive, you can heal. You need to be in a position to capitalize on those knocks and that damage. And some of those guys aren't. Meta, okay, today they did. Fair enough. Yeah. Sparkings was on that list. He's not on the kill total because they've only got going today. Right, but SDK had a player in the high point. Obviously, we just touched on another. Now you go over to the kill totals, and it's much different. These are the teams that are actually, I say performing. Uba's been an exception, but Faze really hasn't quite been there.
Well, the quickest way to obviously make this comparison is how many teams are active in the mid game, pressuring teams away, doing that, the idle damage, so to say. And these are the teams the players, we've seen be explosive in the end game. So these are the guys maybe not outputting as much damage, but they're converting the kills. They're getting them in clutch situations. They're closing out team fights, and that tells a story really there.
I think converting the kills, but it's also worth noting that for a lot of these guys, maybe not T-Bone because we can see he's damage leader as well. A lot of the damage is possibly coming from teammates, and what we're seeing is closers, right? Sometimes that's the big part. I think Uba is very good at that in particular, capitalizing on sort of closing out the fights quickly. So you engage, and then you go, Uba, where there's a guy over here I'm shooting at, and Uba's just that kind of flick that he comes in, he helps finish the fight.
We saw him landing a load of damage on Singularity on that Miramar thing. Honestly, probably the best Mini 14 player we have in Europe.
And that's a hugely important gun for the amount of poke and potential that it has.
Yeah.
With that said, we've broken down everything. We are sitting with our leaderboard as we presented it to you. We aren't done. WTSG, you're right. I think it's theirs to lose, but if that's the mentality, is not losing, then sometimes you forget about winning. And Omaken have put themselves in a good spot. They just need to find form on a wrangle. We're going to have some fun in the halftime show. We're not done. We'll start looking forward to our last 3 maps, but before then, we've got Kat to bring in. We got Toby checking out what the players are up to during the lunch break. But before all that, we're going to take a 2-minute break. So maybe you should do so yourself. Get to the bathroom, get back. We'll see you in a sec.
Don't just watch PUBG, compete as well. Competitive ELO and ranking system. Climb the ladder. Start your path to pro. Head over to play.gll.gg. The best PUBG platform.
Welcome back from that break. I am joined now in the GLL lounge with Mr. Bartender himself, the life coach, the man, the myth, the gorgeous human that he is. No, so back here you are the bartender. How much alcohol have you served to everyone back here, and are they having a good time?
Not as much as I thought I would. Most of the teams are really strict about their alcohol consumption. So, like some of the teams try to get a beer, as I told you yesterday. Taylor J, every day he's coming in there. Can I have a beer? I was like, no, after the game you can have a beer. But today I might give him some because he plays so good. So, but not so much alcohol actually. Some of the teams, I don't know, they want to win this.
Oh, the trash talk from the bartender. Everybody seems to be trash talking this weekend. Now, I just got told that you were on Love Island. What exactly is Love Island? Because I've never heard of it. I don't know if it's a European show. I don't know if it's a North American show. What is it?
I don't know what you're talking about. There must have been some kind of mistake here. Someone looks like me or anything. I don't know. I haven't been there. I'm only the bartender here. I'm not doing anything else. So, alcohol, lifestyle coach. What else did I say yesterday?
That was pretty much it. Lifestyle coach. That's what the desk was calling you. Now, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. You're a handsome-looking man. There's no way you're not on a show
I admit.
called Love Island, right? So what was it? What did you do?
Love Island. It was free booze, free vacation, free food, and hot girls. That's what I do as a bartender. That's my life.
Did you find love on this island, though?
Who knows?
A mystery, a man of mystery. We all love to see that. I know there's a lot of women in the chat because it is PUBG. Shout out to Julie. I know that you're out there. Now, as the bartender again, do you guys get to make any fun drinks back there? Has anybody been crazy enough to take their shirts off?
No one has taken the shirt off. One guy has taken the pants off. I don't know who it was, but it was one guy in Exodus. I don't know what's his name. Maybe you can find that out.
Wait, a boy from Exodus taking off their pants?
Exactly.
Oh my.
It wasn't Taylor J. Taylor J is crazy about the alcohol, but he hasn't taken his pants off. But it was someone else from Exodus. I can't remember his name. You gotta ask him.
I feel like we're gonna have to dig deep and find out who's taking their pants off because I don't know if they have the no shirt, no shoes, no pants policy back here. But I mean, I for one, I for one do not want to see anybody's pants off at this event.
Me neither.
But thank you so much. I know you probably have a lot of people to serve alcohol to back there, especially probably a lot of the Athletico fans. But no, thank you again for talking to me.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Oh my gosh, we have somebody from Faze Clan. Whoa, what are you doing right now? Whoa, excuse me. Are we picturing right now?
Streaming right now. It's like stream inception. You know?
Wait, you're a streamer? Do you want to plug your stuff for the camera?
I'm not a streamer, but I'm trying. I'm trying to be one. Maybe you can teach me.
Oh, it's really simple. You just get on there, and I mean, you guys are good at video games. People love to watch that insane stuff, right? So.
That's true. That's true. Okay. I can do this. You just press click live, right?
Yeah, you just click press live, and then you kind of just tell chat about Twitch Prime. It's really simple. I don't know if you guys
know about Twitch Prime. I think it's free, easy to use, simple. You know, go ahead.
We might need to work on that. We might need to work on that a bit. Just throw in what exactly Twitch Prime is, but it's totally fine though. Okay, so, oh yeah, exactly. You wait. The cameraman's getting in on this. We love that. He needs a FaceTime as well.
This guy likes it.
So you guys are on your break right now, filming what's for lunch? Because I haven't eaten yet. I've just been running around. I'm in this dope jacket that the champions get. So what did you guys have for lunch?
I haven't eaten yet. I just clicked press live, so you know, dedication to the streamer, to the viewers. But my team are eating. It's beef stew.
Oh, beef stew. I'm gonna have to try that out back there. So streaming, right? You're IRL streaming right now, and is this on what platform?
Twitch.
Oh, I mean, we all love Twitch. That's right. Bleed purple, guys. Can we get some Omega lols in chat? Can we possibly do that? Yeah, can we get some more Kappa 123s? Just throw it back, or some Amenos out there. Well, I don't want to keep you too long from your live stream. I don't want to be the center of the attention. But thank you so much for coming over and talking to me. All right, who do we have next on the drawing board? Oh my gosh, we have the CEO of GLL right now and his son, a little bit camera shy.
Who, me or the son?
Oh, the little one's the COO.
Yep, this is the
He's the CEO. Oh my god, hi. How are you doing?
This is Adrian. Sister, hello.
Aww. It's okay. One day you'll learn how to be in the camera. It's totally fine. So, as the CEO of GLL, how are you enjoying the event? How do you think it's running?
No, I think it's amazing. I mean, the team effort is astonishingly good, I think. I think it becomes better for every single season as well.
Now, talk to me about the dog that's been running around. The dog seems to not like me for some odd reason, and it's breaking my heart. Is it your dog? Is it the GLL dog? Oh!
So here we go. That's my dog.
Okay. What kind of dog and how old?
This is a pit bull.
Oh, it's a pit bull. The pit bulls in Europe look a bit different than they do in Europe.
Or it's a toy poodle. This is an 11-year-old lady.
Name?
Vilda, of course, or the GLL doggo.
Oh no, this is quite possibly one of the best things at the event right now. I've been trying to get it to love me, but she, for some reason, wants to run away from me. Probably, I mean, I get it. It's probably all the perfume that I'm wearing right now, and I'm sorry about that. So the lounge back here, where have you been hanging out most of this event?
Oh, but of course it's here, the lounge, right? I mean, it's a cool atmosphere. Since it's a closed event, everybody's super friendly. I'm enjoying every second of it.
Well, I think a lot of us are enjoying every part of this event. It's a well-produced event. I'm having a great time. Plus, there's alcohol, which we can't have yet. Yeah, soon, right? Which I think a lot of us are super excited for. But I do want to say thank you for not only coming on with me, but you came on with the dog and your son. Thank you so much for throwing this event for all of us. Thank you.
Bye.
Ooh, we have one of the rowdy boys of Athletico over here.
I'm one of the less rowdy ones.
Really? I feel like less rowdy is like American rowdy, right? Or like maybe European rowdy.
See, American rowdy is non-existent. It's hard to explain, but you can't really compare it to Australian rowdy.
I mean, I really agree. Everybody keeps tweeting me wanting to do a shoey. How many shoeys would you say you've done in your life?
Oh, I'm not. I'm not a fan of shoeys. Probably 2. It's like a rite of passage though. It's like out of the womb into a shoe. Hey, what's up? He would have been doing shoeys since like he came out the womb.
So you've done a lot of shoeys now, which is all the Athletico boys are just coming on over, the rowdy rascals themselves. Oh, hello. Yes, good job, little one. You two just get on up there. So he said a shoey is a rite of passage, right? Is that like an age thing?
Yeah, so once you're about, I don't know, 14 or something, sure, just, yeah, send it. It like turns you into a man sort of thing.
Oh, I've always wanted to become a man, like in Mulan, right? So you guys gonna make a man out of me? Yep. Perfect. I guess we'll pop in shoeys later at the party. Right. Now, I feel like you guys are the kind of almost a punching bag of this tournament. How are you guys taking that?
Not well.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Oh, the little one's stealing from, I mean, to be fair, he's a little bit cuter. He's a little bit cuter than you guys. Just a smidge. Now, I know you guys are on break. What is something you guys like to do on this off time? Because I know it is a long time and you guys might have to warm up again. What is something your team might specifically do that other teams do not?
Head down the Borderlo.
I don't know, just relax. We don't do much.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Hopefully I didn't take up too much of you guys' break.
Question.
Oh, we're doing, wait, did I just hear we're doing charades with Athletico?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I just was told you guys, I didn't know you guys did charades. Ooh. Anyways, guys, thank you again for your time. Thank you guys again for joining me down at the GLL Lounge. We're going to go ahead and show you guys the charades that Athletico did.
I'm Nick101.
And I'm Zoidmate.
And this is Charades. PUBG Charades.
Pen.
Yeah. Laptop. Fuck, can't talk. Skip. You gotta be kidding.
What a big word.
Just giving that.
Chicken. Wing. Chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Vest. Armored vest. Level 2 vest. Did I get it?
Yeah.
Flashbang. Gun. Pistol.
Which one?
Revolver.
P92.
How the fuck am I meant
Bro,
to...
there was Flashlighter and Mini 14 in there.
How are you meant to do the specific gun name?
Oh no, that was terrible. This was not the easiest game I've ever played. That's for sure. Cheers.
I feel like to win charades, you actually have to act some of the few cards out. I mean, what you just can't pass on all of them.
It generally involves moving of some kind.
Yeah. Also, Zoid was like the least engaged guesser in history.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. I also want to go back to the very beginning of that because yesterday, Mr. Bartender said Taylor J was always asking for beer. Today, he thought, yeah, he's playing better. I have a feeling he might have seen Kat actually playing for Taylor. Maybe Kat actually earned him a beer.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That was pretty good performance this morning in the show match. Yeah, so Kat secretly incognito got Taylor a beer. There you go. Probably the first time Taylor's gotten a beer from a lady at an esports event.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just going to leave that there.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there to
the amount of hickeys that Taylor would show up with at NPL matches on a regular basis, I don't think that's necessary.
He's one of the people, he would literally wear like the lowest cut jersey.
Oh,
He
yeah,
would,
okay. I like
winners
it.
interviews. It was just obvious every time.
Well, they certainly have turned things
Respect
up. In the last 2 games this morning, they were within the top 3 both times, picking up a win, obviously. Decent kill total in doing so, but now we shift our focus. We do have to get ready for a wrangle, the final 3 maps, and the race is on. WTSG have to maintain what is now a 30, I said 33, I think it's 34. Yeah, I was 1 off on that, excuse me. 34-point lead over that of Omaken. And Omaken need to try and perform on a wrangle to make that possible. Otherwise, Team Liquid may not be within striking distance. So it all is coming to roost. And certainly, even without, if we take WTSG out of the picture, that second place battle is still on between about 4 teams.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely achievable for everyone down to, again, if we say now Na'Vi's actually come up to 88 points. Tornado Energy is maybe the cutoff at 80, but I mean, definitely, you know, Na'Vi, Faze, Exodus have all got a chance of picking up some points here. It's obviously relying on a couple of other teams kind of bombing out in the next couple of maps, but I definitely think this is still open. The battle for second place definitely isn't decided just yet.
And so I also remind you, there's about $20,000 in difference between second and fourth place. So that's also very wide open. A lot of these teams, I don't want to point to any in particular, but one that has 3 letters as their logo could use a little extra cash as they get ready to go into sort of the next phase, getting ready. You know, if you're unsponsored, $20,000 is a really big deal at this stage.
There may not be $20,000 involved in it, but charades, the competition, you and I are kind of killing.
We're the best. We've been the best.
The Cat and Toby were close, but I'm just going to knock them down one for the fact that they didn't quite get the mini right. They had to be given that sort of. So I'm thinking we're in the lead. Our other caster duo is horrible, worse than Athletico even, so they're out of it. But how did Deman and Avnqr do? They're our last duo for charades, and I'm thinking we're going to win this.
I can't imagine Avnqr doing well.
Let's find out.
Alright, I'm Lee Deman Smith. I'm going to be the mimer.
Like an idiot.
I'm going to be guessing. I'm Martin Avnqr, and I'm excited to get started. Pan. Yeah. First aid kit. Medical syringe. Yeah. AK, your gun. What gun? AKM? SLR, SKS. The Canids, AK, M4, M16. Scope, AWM, M24. What? Small gun, pistols, SMGs, the shotgun. Pass. Next one. Grenade. Smoke. Stun. Molotov. Stun grenade. Smoke.
Another name!
What?
Another name!
Stun grenade, smoke, Molotov.
Oh my god!
What?
Flash!
But that's stun grenade, that's what it's
Yeah, but
called.
it's flash hider. I'm trying to do flash and then hide. Mini 14! You fucking kidding
No
me? I was
way.
like, Mini! I hate you.
I love where they found stock footage of you just saying like an idiot to put on top of the memeing, by the way. That was clutch. I think that means we're the winners. I think we win. And Kat and Toby don't even get to defend themselves because I'm up here and they're not. So
True.
Oh, we have a leaderboard for charades?
Oh, darn.
Oh, bring it up. Let's see. Apparently it is official then. I don't know what the winners get. Here we go. What do you mean 3.5? Where did we lose half a point?
How did we lose half a point?
We're going to I need a review. We need VOD review on that.
Recount.
That is absolutely ludicrous.
That's
Where
actually
did
crazy.
we lose?
The play of the whole actual tournament was Cat's flash hider, then it seems.
Yeah.
You mean the flash hider?
The flash.
The flash hider, yeah.
Why didn't I go down there?
Where did we lose that? I want
Why didn't I go down that road?
Ulf, producer, I'll meet you outside after. You need to tell me where we lost that half a point. I am
I respect
offended.
I respect it. They put in a lot of work, you know. Everybody else got hung up on one thing. They did a good job of, moving through it.
I will. Speaking of not moving through it, by the way, Lee just committing to the flash hider to the point where he just points at the sky.
Yeah.
Like what? Like is he looking for divine
Ruthed it there
intervention?
for a second.
Please, God, help us! Like just move on. Hey, you were good about that. You just said pass.
thank you.
Pass.
To be fair,
we got
though-
4 points. I'm confused as to where we.
Be fair.
I was going to say, to be fair, Lee was committed down the right path with the mini.
Yeah.
That one's on Martin.
That was on
for
Martin.
sure.
Yeah.
And they started so strong. Those first two
they
were.
did.
I thought they were going to destroy
I know,
us.
'cause
And I watched.
They kind of hinted that they didn't do well, and then I was like, oh, they're trolling. They're nailing this.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Nope.
Not a chance. Speaking of nailing it, movement is a very important aspect of PUBG. Mechanical skill is clutch, not only to get you out of situations, but to be able to fight and efficiently peek. Someone who's very good at a Hypoc is K-Mind, and you actually had a time I wasn't going to say.
I was going to say.
yeah,
I was going to panic there.
Look around. It's not. But you did tell us about how KMind is with movement in game.
Does the mug want to be here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Audio good? Hey guys, Hypoc here. I'm going to be taking a bit of a closer look at KMind's play in the endgame versus inside games yesterday. One of the things to obviously take away from this was his movement during the play, just the way he kind of isolated the players into 1v1 situations. So let's take a look. One of the things I want you guys to pay close attention to is the way that KMind uses his cover. Obviously, essentially this should be a free win here for inside games, but KMind makes it really difficult for them. You see KMind's pinned behind the rock. One of the things he does really well here is the way that he peeks out and the timings of his peeks, just using the cover as best as he can. Obviously he's out in the open really. This is a 1v3 situation out on the open on a hill effectively, but you can see here the peaks with the mini 14, gets some good damage into the first player. Unfortunate not to get the down. After this is where it kind of steps up a bit. Pixel tries to get an off angle. You can see Zampeak as well in the middle. KMind actually landed a really nice M4 spray there to get Zampeak down. It's at this point here where it gets interesting because he obviously takes the nade damage. Then he actually comes back, sticks a first aid kit. But you can see here where the timing of his peaks becomes really important. He gets some damage onto one player, counter peaks onto the next. We actually see him end up using a Molotov to try and force Pixel off of the tree. The 1v1 actually ends up coming after he gets the knock onto free kill. Obviously there's no chance of the res. So really unfortunate with the Molotov not to get force Pixel out from behind the tree, but you can just see the way that he's timing his attacks onto both of these players. He's really unlucky not to come out with the win in this situation, but just wanted to highlight how you can use cover effectively and, you know, arguably a free win. It should have been for inside games, but KMind definitely made it really difficult for him in the end, going down to kind of an unexpected play. And you can see KMind was holding the angle on the edge of the smoke, and Pixel unfortunately just manages to get a prone spot and win the game out.
And interestingly enough, that movement, that very near clutch, is the closest that Team Liquid has actually come to winning a game so far in this event. And he pretty much made, I guess, a rabbit out of a hat in that situation. A 1-on-3, I probably would have peeked out and got headshotted immediately. So credit to him for being swift in the movement.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we talked about this yesterday on the desk. I don't feel as if he made any mistakes during that. Unfortunately, coming down to, you know, a weird off angle that Pixel did manage to find. But it's interesting you said that's actually the closest they've come to a win, thinking about it, because they've actually had a couple of second places where it hasn't actually been close in the end game.
I mean, and even to the point where, like, we saw him throw that smoke out there, and, you know, something we don't always discuss is the sort of, like, defensive versus aggressive smokes, and he decided to smoke his opponent versus himself. He made a really good point of sort of that expands how much cover you have because they have to go wide, and it just came down to Inside Gaming choosing to be outside the smoke and laying down in a spot that really, who could anticipate
that's
that
like
kind
the
of play?
wide peak plus prone. You're going to overlook that. I mean, I think even when he peaked, his own gun model probably blocked part of the prone position, so it was pretty fortunate situation that Pixel was able to get himself into.
Yeah, I mean, he actually nearly reacted to it as well, which is the crazy thing. KMind actually almost snapped onto him when he realized where he was, but, you know, Pixel got the first few bullets off, and that was it.
Well, something else, I guess I should say, that has good movements are cats. But I think this lady's a bit more of a con than a cat. It's KatContii, and she's going to take us through the behind the scenes of GLL.
What is up, guys? I am KatContii, and I'm here to give you guys a look behind the scenes of the GLL Season 4 Grand Finals. I'm going to take you guys inside because out here, it is freezing. As a girl from Las Vegas, it's a little chilly. Welcome to the GLL Lounge, where the players, the coaches, and the VIPs are here to watch the games. Let's go find someone to talk to. If you guys don't know, this is one of my friends, and it's her first time coaching with STK. How's your experience so far in this lounge?
It's been amazing.
What is your favorite part about this whole lounge?
The big TV.
The big TV? It is a very nice big TV. I don't know, these couches are pretty comfortable, though. Are you enjoying these?
The couches are pretty good. Coaches on the couch.
Coaches on the couches. All right, guys, we have something special for you. The commentators are currently going at it. Come take a look.
Pick each other off.
pretty great room, if you ask me. Pretty good stuff. Sada, over here having a really good time.
I'm waiting for the excitement.
Oh, why? Because it's a Miramar game.
No, it's because Athletico just decided not to shoot. They were very pacifist in this situation. We're getting good now, though. Faze is getting into it.
Then we have Hypoc and Toffees over here.
Yeah, Hypoc.
It's Hypoc.
It's my fault it smells like McDonald's in here. I had to get my NA food, right, here in Sweden.
And then we have Matrym hanging out after his casting, just watching the game.
Hi, that's probably an extreme close-up. How are you doing?
I think I'm gonna take on the role as analyst. I think I look good up here. Guys, we are at production right now. It's something you guys never really get to see, but it's actually quite fascinating because look at all these buttons. That's actually wild how much work they do. What exactly is your role out here?
So I'm the director.
Now this giant thing in front of you, what even is that? A super mega keyboard?
This is called a vision mixer. So this is what I use to kind of control what everyone sees.
Uh-huh. All right, guys, now this is the trophy that one of the 16 teams gets to take home. Thank you guys so much for coming along this journey with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
And we're going to find out which of the 16 teams will take that trophy home, because in just about 2 minutes, we're going to jump into our final 3 matches. It's been a long time to get here. Seems like it's been a long time in terms of, you know, the fact we've already played so many games, 15 done, but it hasn't actually. It's been 3 days and it's gone by pretty quickly. Certainly if you're WTSG, you've been loving it, but guys, now is do or die. Who needs to step up from the bottom? Does Faze or Liquid get a win before the end of the day? And do WTSG ride it out, or did they fail at this point, Hypoc?
I mean, for me, it's going to be difficult for WTSG to throw this. Yeah. But, you know, the way Omaken's playing, the way Liquid has shown glimmers of hope, it's definitely possible. I think it's a massive task ahead of them. But one of the things I want to see is a couple of teams obviously talking about maybe some NA bias here. But I do want to see Exodus and SDK close out strong here, get a decent final standing. For me, that's just a personal highlight for me. Again, Faze would be nice to see climb a little bit, but there's just some big questions over that roster right now.
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said it took a long time to get here. The reality is it has been a while since these teams have played. Yeah, sure, there's been some small online tournaments or things like that have given them a chance to cut their teeth, but this is the first place where a lot of our new rosters have sort of shaken off the rust, spread their wings, and we get to see who rises up. The time for excuses is over, though. A team like Faze and a team like Liquid, who have built these superior rosters on paper, need to get a win. They need to get a chicken dinner at this tournament. They need to put up some big numbers. So yes, I want to see them do well. I want to see Omaken come out and say, got to do good on this game to show us, hey, we can dominate on a wrangle, because Liquid and WTSG are sort of my favorites for 1 and 2 right now.
And I'm gonna throw out a personal curiosity. Does Faze, now that we're back into a situation where they need wins, they don't have a lot to lose. Yes, they can still make up some placements. Do they start to challenge at Power again today? Do they finally go push around Oath? Oath hasn't been super solid in terms of kills themselves. It's possible they want that position back.
We talked Hot Drop the other day, and this is a scenario here where I just don't think it's wise.
No, I don't think so.
It's, even for the comfort zone factor on that, I don't think it's a wise decision. But one thing they definitely need to do is to step back into the way they play or angle historically, which is, you know, balls to the wall aggressive.
And that's it, right? I'm used to a Faze Sunday, but today has been kind of a Faze ho-hum day, as they haven't been doing. Yeah, it's me. So, like, come out here and show us Faze, man. You got Gustav added to the roster. This guy, we saw him at PGC. He knows how to win. Let's do this thing.
All right, well, we are going to do this thing. We're going to do it right now. We are going to jump into our final 3 maps and figure out who our champion from GLL Season 4 will be. To do that, we've got to go over to Avnqr and Deman.
And Toby as well, because there's another one joining us. We're going for the TriCast for the final 3 games of the day. And of course, there is so much to play for. Unfortunately for me, I know exactly what the English felt like when the Vikings raided us. These 2 big man mountains are either side of me. And yeah, this is why Kalaris always has a box.
There's going to be so much to cover that we need 3 guys to cover. We're going to be talking constantly.
Yeah, it's just pretty much it. There's so much in line for these teams. Even if these teams don't get WTSG, everything below that is absurdly close.
But 34 points. This is doable, right? I mean, The downside is the WTSG, I think it was like 90 points they've picked up coming into this. This is their map. Erangel has been their place where they picked it up. Day one, they hit the ground running on Erangel on WTSG.
We have a few teams that are pretty close, so we would expect them to see maybe some setups, some traps. Like if they want to be able to get into first place, they have to gatekeep them. They have to set traps up for them. They have to make sure that in the next two matches here that they don't get a lot of points. So I'm excited if we're going to see that, or they're just going to keep on rumbling.
And that's one of the things, right? Another thing is, one of the reasons why other teams haven't been able to keep up with WTSG is because they have been the ones getting the kills. So now that they're holding back, not only are they not getting that many points themselves, they're technically allowing for these other teams to take over the harvest that has been WTSG on Erangel so far.
So here's the leaderboard as it stands. That's what they got to play for. 3 maps remaining, all on Erangel. 150 points for WTSG. Everybody is chasing them down, but they're going to have some mega performances. We're going to have to see, for, say, Omaken or Team Liquid to do it, they're going to have big wins. Not just second places. They're going to have to win. They're going to have to go for it. And hopefully, you know what? With so much money up for grabs, we're going to see some of these teams just let off a leash.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. These guys, you say let off the leash, they need to go for it. They need to go for it. You cannot play, oh, but we really want to keep fourth in case we don't get third. You need to play for that top spot.
Absolutely, and on top of that, we are extremely close on the points from 9th and up to 5th even. We're talking 6 points difference. Tornado Energy even on 83, they're also extremely close, so there's still a massive battle to get into the money, and also how big of a chunk you're going to get off this prize pool.
And for all the banter from Fuzzface earlier on about NA teams, they are behind 2 NA teams and a LATAM team right now. So they need to just hit the ground running effectively. Do we see them going back to Milta Power? Do they continue with South George? We'll find out as the plane is about to take off. It is a decent flight path for everyone involved, so I expect to see some pretty standard drops here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, this is probably the best flight path for this lobby of teams. We don't have that many Western committed teams. The furthest west you'll pretty much go is going to be Ferry Pier with Na'Vi and anyone else sitting pretty decently in with this plane.
And on top of that, as you said, are they going to go back to Milta Power? What are they going to do? What's their plan? In my opinion, like, abandoning Milta Power could have been a play as well, because there are so many teams around them. We have a Lipovka team, we have a Mansion split team, we have Esnai, we have Milta, there's a Farm split team as well. So honestly, in my opinion, South George is a better play right now than Milta Power is.
Seems like they're opted to go down towards the military west side though, which, I mean, again, if you don't get your main spot, then at least go for your second before you hop over to your third. At least from here you have more rotation knowledge and so on and so forth. And also with this plane path, well, Military Circle is not completely out of options.
Yeah, I was just looking, I was like, are they going to challenge Oath? But they are going to go back to their sort of standard drops. WTSG, I can see Vard has someone from Wildcard next to him, but they both dropped vehicles. They're going to get away from that one. That was Keenan. So they both went for the UAZs. Everybody separates. It's interesting, right? This is... We talked about it pre-tournament, about the drop that WTSG used. This is a drop that has never worked for any other team. In qualifiers, in finals, but they're making it work.
If we go way back, IEM style, Millennium, the old French team, they used to drop in this exact spot, and they actually had some really good games. And I think if you're a team that plays now, you look back at those games way back then, and you might be able to catch some things off it.
Well, we've heard a lot from Wooly, Keenan, Kickstart, and co. The boys have been very vocal at this event. Let's see what they got to say about the drop phase.
Normally as soon as the circle pops, we like to, I just discuss with Wooly like what our first strategy is for rotating and stuff. But in terms of loot, I prioritize utility, like smokes and nades a lot. And then we're just calling out like saying we need a scope, like all the attachments that everybody needs and stuff. That's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. I mean, Keenan's been doing well, Wooly's been doing well. Sharp Shot, sorry, I didn't mean to say Anko. You know, I don't want to miss Sharp Shot because he might upgrade to Sharp Shot 8K when the graphics are available. But we'll see where he goes next.
One thing that's interesting if we take a look at the map is inside games, they all four jumped for the exact same vehicle. They were going up towards Mansion, towards these northern hillside areas, but they had Nick driving right beside them, and he's going, well, you don't have any weapons, you're not going to contest me for anything. So he kept driving in that exact same direction, forcing inside games actually further north from where you normally see them.
For me, what has been working for WTSG is, though, that they are having 2 hard spawns available to them, and often 1 more available in terms of a random spawn. So this is the difference from where we saw, remember at PGI Leicester, some of these teams that are trying, when we had more team in the lobby, they tried this similar split here and didn't work for them, but they were forced to rotate on foot. There's the good old market rotations, they're forced foot rotation because they don't have any cars. So this is amazing that they're able to make this work because it's an extremely central spot and it's nearly as strong as Pochinki if you look away from how strong the loot is.
Speaking of rotations, I mean, normally Liquid is the rotated at 3.5, 4 minutes. Jeem started that rotation at 2 minutes into the game. He barely even got down inside Pochinki before he started driving forward. He's all by himself moving forward. Iconically speaking, the Liquid compound is where he's eyeing, but seems like Kickstart. I think Kickstart saw him on the hill and he goes, well, nope. That's the silent pull-up I've seen one.
Gonna pass on by, yeah. Just a slow
snail pull-up
close to it. This is
Wildcard, Athletico.
Yeah, this is
a backflip hill, yeah.
Now, this is obviously, the thing is Atletico's loot location is the standard classic of they're spread out, they're looting, and they're not ready at 4 minutes. Just how often are they used to teams being in their backyard at 4 minutes, coming to move into the circle? Wildcard are there already. Team Liquid, you said, just moved into the Liquid compound. Omaken, they've been in Yasnaya for 2 minutes max, because they were late to arrive, and they're already leaving it.
Page is pulling up as well. Wildcard is 4 guys strong. Atletico has 1 guy near. Nick could explode right now.
Nick had no idea. He's gonna, he's gonna get the first one. Wooly down, can he get the second? No. Standard trade off.
Simple trade, yeah. That comes in. It does give the information away for Paige, though, that there is a team here. He obviously was aware of it, but he sees those knocks. I wonder if he's going to try and pay on it. Up in heaven, it's a prime location, really, with this circle as well. It is dead center. They don't want to be a crossing mansion, because that's just a nightmare to defend. Paige lands the M24 shot, but doesn't take Keenan down.
They're actually committing to this, too. That has me surprised. I thought with that shot, he gets the head, gets the body shot, backs off, take the car, get away from there. I would see him turning around, too. There's nothing to come for here. They've been seeing the element of surprises away. The rest has come up. Get the hell out of there.
Again, it's the first circle. There's nothing to play for there. You're not going to be sure if it's going to end here. It's not worth fighting for just yet. And they're sitting in a very good spot in second place. If they can get a decent game here off, they're pretty much securing themselves second place. And we've seen a fair share of endings that are actually easier. Low, shoot to kill, taking some shots to Singularity. Not connecting just yet.
Him shooting here, that has me worried. I know shoot to kill out for, well, literally kills at this point, but look at their split. They're sitting 2-1-1 kilometers, literally kilometers apart. Had that been any, we talk about Singularity as the LATAM Navi who just backs off early game. Had that been any slightly aggressive team and they stopped there was no help at all.
If it had been a European team, they would have turned
They would have pulled up.
Because they'd realized that's just one person shooting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, now this is an interesting one. Faze coming across. Now, Navi, they never gate camp. They never do. They never cover this bridge off, but they still haven't moved. So there might be a couple of shots. We're seeing Senya on the move now, so may get early action. We were talking about pulling up. They're pulling up on Luke 12. Probably the worst player to try and pull up on from shoot to kill, because he's ready for the fight, but he's going to hop in his dash here and try and get out of there. Kodak will rip his head off.
That's very unfortunate for Luke. And also, this is kind of one of the things that happens when Alo pushes them away, because he's pushing them and when peacocking so much from his position, forcing him to go further. Luke is there, and that's very unfortunate for them.
It's the next obvious stop, right? He bounces them off the story, like the one-story building. They wanted to scout it, they slowed down, he shoots them, go away from here. Their next stop is going to be down there, and getting shot at by a solo from there. It's going to, well, there's going to be a solo in that spot too, and that's exactly what they predicted. Great play, honestly, by Singularity.
Wide spreads from IG, Athletico, as you'd expect. Teams that begin in this area. Omaken trying to do what they can, Eiffel, and holding the dip. They're holding the police station, or whatever you want to call it. It's got many names, that place. Team Liquid also, they've got the spread over the yellows. You can see they're trying to cover off. That's actually a pretty wide spread. So they gave up on the Liquid compound? No, they were on the Liquid compound. They've still got K-Mine and Mexi there. James is just further south. WTSG are kind of wandering, looking for a position now. They're obviously a little late to the circle at 7 minutes, trying to find a home, but Team Liquid have a wide net.
I mean,
they're spreading forward here.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken control, Cinder, and they sit with so much vision that they can go, okay, even if we do get pulled up on, we will know at least like 20 seconds in advance. Yeah, exactly.
K-Mine just dashing across, like, if you're going to get pulled up on it, I'm going to quickly back it up. It's almost just a visualization of like, hey, we've got players here. Now there's 2. See if you want to push us. And WTSG read it well. They just say, okay, let's go to the edge of Yaz and just sort of divert around it. Down south, Exodus, they've picked up a win today. They are still deep, deep south, scouting the bridge. They are very cautious, it seems. Faze Clan on the move. They are going over the fields of Rozhok, and they're going to be coming in from the east. There's also Navi and Meta out on the west side. Meta going further north over the riverside. They're going to be working their way along the top side of Yasnaya, I guess. But WTSG, they're obviously the team to watch. They're the team that everybody's chasing. They are just trying to pull up on the edge of Yasnaya, as I say. We do still have Omaken, who are in second place right next to him. And if any of those teams get to knock on one another, they're going to know what team they're up against. We may see some aggression come out.
And that's where these circles are so interesting, especially over on the eastern side of the map. Because we're not on 2.0 yet, we don't have all the military fortifications. It's open and it's compounds. So you would take those crashes where you go, oh, you don't do that before phase 4, phase 5. Some will full-on pull up on you phase 2 because they go, if we don't get a compound soon, we'll be playing in the open, that's going to be our death. So teams might end up seeing them going more aggressive now than you normally would.
We'll see this probably with Inside Games. I mean, they are in a widespread. It is only phase 1, but once we hit phase 2, they will probably already go to a 2-2 split between the two best compounds. They have 3 extremely good prior compounds in this current circle here. So if it centers around them, we're definitely going to see them go to a 2-2 split, or maybe even 4 to the same compound, depending on how the circle is.
I'm interested in Faze's route here. There we go. The circle shrinks down. It perfectly highlights my point. They tend to pull up where shoot to kill are right now. That's a location they like to go with. They may go obviously for the hillside compound, but that's going to draw them right towards each other, them and Meta.
Do we call this a reverse phase rotation? They normally be coming over this way the other way, right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, Exodus are down south. The mansion is going to be the place where everyone's crashing. IG have moved just a little bit together, getting that 2-2, as you mentioned, the draw together. Omaken have pulled out of Yasnaya, centered up a little bit. Red Canids trying to find a location as Melman gets pulled up on by Team Liquid. It's actually tell a lie. It's K-Mine that will catch on. He got Jeems down. He ran him down. Oh no, and Ali has flushed it as well as he comes around the side with K-Mine down. That is a disaster for Team Liquid as Mexi comes in and finishes the job. They do get K-Mine back on his feet with the help of the support, but that was not the ideal pull-up.
How they just survived that with 3 blows my mind. It reminds me of the Scrimkin not too long ago where Jeems gets knocked in the yellow houses and they just all come sprinting forward. There are no breaks in those cars. The wall is the break, and EP showed us that.
Nice to see. Still being able to play 3 from mansions actually doable here. But again, Inside Games, they did leave a compound for red, so they're actually in a really good spot as well. Omaken have left Yasnaya. They're all 4 guys in the Alamo just east of Yasnaya. And Wildcard, they're looking to kind of get some more information around them so they potentially can push into the forest later if they have to. Metagaming, though, they're not seeing WTSG. Not connected just yet, though, but shoot to kill. They know he's here, so they're going to be throwing some nades at him.
They're very slow, I think. Considering Meta and Faze were already on the rotate north of Yasnaya, they're very slow to get in position of where they are. And they're actually going to drive in right behind WTSG. WTSG are continuing on their route, though. So they're going more to the cliffside. Obviously, they're one of the teams to keep our eye on. As Hyagwin does manage to hop back on the vehicle and get away from shoot to kill. Looks like he should be able to escape safely there. Faze Clan, though, they've continued north. A big right swing.
Yep, actually, look, they stopped. I was just going to say, when they started shooting, they stopped to look down towards them. And if there's a team that wants some free kills right now, that's WTSG. Get up to a good start. You might just seal the deal here, Hyagwin.
Just scouting.
Safely, just scouting. Safe place. No gliders, no worries.
Safely scouts.
Not connected just yet. This is a great spot. This is basically the spot you counter this compound from. Going above them and start pushing down towards it. Hyagwin is going to take one down. That's a Vard losing his life there. Beast is going to be finished up with the compound. That's another fight on the other side of the map.
Yeah, they're pushing the compound. Obviously, that's the molly going in. So that means Team Liquid down to 2, and I can still see he's still there. WTSG with Vard down. Doesn't look like they're going to get a revive on him as well, unless Jonk's going to come down and try and help him out. But Meta are sat waiting for him. He is kind of safe at the moment, but coming in behind them is Faze Clan. 80 there, just going to get the pop off. Uber's trying to look and get in a position. High kill scoring for him again this tournament, as we predict and always expect. But WTSG, oh my word, if someone sees these, if they go out in 16th place, it is literally the green flag for everybody to chase them down.
And the thing for Faze Clan right now is they know exactly what team it is that they have right in front of them. They heard all the shots, and they're just going for this one. If we want to have a chance of doing anything, we've got to take down the top team first.
Obviously chasing down the top team, but also getting the kills and points they need, because right now they're sitting in 8th place, pretty close to the rest of the guys. They want to get more prize money out of it and also get above the, from Phosphane's point of view, want to get above the North American teams that they are competing against here.
Miroku getting pushed. As I say, as soon as I saw Iroh go down, they're just going to push the position. They get Miroku down, and I'll tell you what, Uber is going to be in position. The revive comes in, and he's instantly knocked by 8C. WTSG are in all manner of trouble here on the first round of Erigal. This is a disaster. However, Shong's still alive.
I was just going to say.
And we know he's got the ability to snake in. But I tell you what, he's in the open. He's got nowhere to go.
This is top 5 guaranteed, right?
Yeah, it is. Shong alone, top 5 guarantee. Next circle, half popped, centering up very nicely. We're most likely going to see one of the usual endings around the forest area, which I actually love to see. And Inside Games have left one of the pretty good compounds further over to the east to the garage compound. So that's going to open up potentially for either Exodus or Singularity, some of the guys to take it over if they scout it properly. Uber have spotted Sparking.
Winter's not shooting. There's a shot. There's a connected shot to no knock. Surviving with a slimmer of HP. Both of them actually down to low. Nate will come in. It shouldn't be doing any damage. No, it's outside the wall.
Yeah, he's inside. It's safe. It's safe. He's safe.
Look at the HP, though. Look at both of them. They were sitting at 5 HP both.
So, realistically, obviously, it is pretty close between, from pretty much down to second, I would say second, third, fourth are probably like the chasing pack. Outside of that, yeah, we're all a bit close together. Shong picking himself at 1. That could be a vital point there as he manages to get the flush on Fuzz. Hasn't flushed it, though. He's about to bleed out. I think he should be gone any minute. He will finish the job. Oh, he gets it down, but I tell you what, he's taking fire still from Gustav. It's not a done deal yet.
I think he's starting to realize where he is on the map. He's not going to get placement points with 52 alive and where he is right now. He might as well just try and... If you can get 1 or 2 points here, those could be the deciding factor when it comes down to the end of 18th game.
The last member of Team Liquid, one of the chasing teams. They needed to perform here, but it has not worked out for them. They go down in 16th place. Shong is now under fire from Pome as well. Singularity have him spotted. He's got nowhere to go in this horrible open field position. No vehicle available. Only his smokes. He's still got 3 smokes available to reach a rock. But Pome will find him through it. And WTSG go down with 0 points. Actually, 1 point. 1 point from the kill on Faze as they take him down. They think, obviously, the rest of the team are there, so he's popping off.
This is amazing for Omaken. They're sitting in a great spot in Alamo. They're sitting close to where they can actually play off of if they're getting in a great position. But still a big fight here for Faze. They're only lost 1, and they get to get some more points from Medaf. Gustav's going to take down Kaishin. Now he knows exactly where the other guys are.
H did go down return, so the backup from behind isn't there for Gustav. Underhand Nate is going to be close. Did it do 1 damage? I think it's a blue. Never mind. Blue did 1 damage, but no, Yakwen spots him from behind. Tacked up in return. He's going to go down.
Oh, well, that he should never have come out on top in that fight. Luckily for him, Sparky does find the headshot on Uber. This is just mutually assured destruction, Gustav. Well, the nade didn't quite finish him off because the gunplay did. Meta have absolutely shined today, but look at this South shift. Wow. That has kicked everybody's ass. All those teams got a hard shift down there, Omaken being one of them.
There is no compound in this circle you can play from which isn't already taken by a team. You will have to fight for any spot in this circle. And we're looking at 6 teams sitting north of it right now.
Obviously, there's a few compounds or a few buildings that can be crashed and managed, but the teams don't know that yet. All the southern areas that you can actually play in the open spots are already taken as well. Navi has taken the southern Alamo, and Exodus is crashing them right now.
Yeah, Navi and Exodus, they were going full brawl down in the Alamo on the southern side. Inside Games in the meantime. Athletico trying to hold off. Sword was alone, but the backup is there.
The Canids are also swinging around to Mansion. It was just Compot from Tornado Energy there. Oath will run through him as Zoidmate keeps looking for IG. Just Zampeak down low, and I think Pixel's further out. He will get the spray down, see Zampeak, that's the nade, it will give him the information he needs, but Zampeak finds the headshot. But look what's happening in the kill feed. Omaken taking some of these kills in the kill feed, they're taking them away from IG, and now they're looking at the position and moving in on that same spot.
We keep talking about how you're only going to get those kills when, you need the other guys to go out with 0 points. This is your game. This is your catch-up game now.
That's Paige. Paige just pulled in on Athletico. Exactly where that IG fight just happened. Paige just pulled straight in and did it. Luckily for them, Wildcard have taken down Pixelic. He tried to escape. Flood, meanwhile, has got the pressure. You can see Paige and Vascu the other side. Paige gets knocked. That is instant reaction straight away. It's surprising they pulled up on this. I guess they thought maybe Athletico were hurt more. I don't know whether they were expecting them to be trying to recover from it, but instead they just bodied IG.
The communication seemed off to some extent, because when you take T3, you want to be here at the same time, and T-Bone was miles out behind the other guys, not in there before now. But having said that, they want to go good, and they want to do it now.
got to be quick, though, because look what's coming on the minimap. Singularity. Luckily for them, they're engaged with red Canids at the moment, but they're coming around the backside of Omaken. They may well get involved in this one. Kodak, we know he can shoot. We know he can kill. These boys have been popping off. They are in that third place. They want to try and chase down at the moment as well. They are by far the top performing LATAM team on this event, and they're actually going to back away from the fight.
And if there's one team you want to delete right now if you're Singularity, that's Omaken, because that's the team you're fighting for with all its money up on the top.
Absolutely. And also, what I don't understand with this Omaken push here is this is not a game-winning push. This is a push for a few points.
It's a horrible place to fight.
Yeah, I would rather see them pull up on Heaven or try to make an outside rotation or even pull up deeper into Mansion.
I mean, Mansion, outside of Oath, who are on the south side, and obviously Tornado Energy, they got 2 in there on the south side as well, is in all essence open. You can go into that little Harry Potter on the edge of it and sort of cover yourself off. There's plenty of space, but this is a grinder. This is a horrible place for Omaken to be in.
Yeah, I think we're sitting with a little bit more vision than some of these guys do. You can scout 2 meters ahead of you, and if you're playing this lobby knowing how passive some of these teams are, you're not playing this on the northern side going, oh, of course it's available for us. You're going to go in there and be like, there's 4 teams there.
Yeah, and how many games have we seen where teams have tried to send it to that north side of Mansion and you just get obliterated?
For any player alive right now looking at the map, not being in Mansion, saying, okay, 35 alive in this circle, there's got to be at least 2 teams in that city.
So while we were focused on that, we did miss out on Exodus pushing Senya. He was in Alamo down the south side. I can see Exodus are in there now, so obviously he's managed to squeeze in there. Look at the amount of territory Exalt have down on that south side. They've covered a large spread. Don't count them out. They're still high in the points. But now, you've got to think back to right at the beginning. Omaken took a look at Heaven and said, okay, it's a little risky to fight for. Let's back away from it. Now, Wildcard are in prime territory.
Sitting very happy. And as I said here, that's why I really wanted to see Omaken pull up on that, because that would have been a better play. Shoot to kill or pulling up under Wildcard. Now, we're going to see a big fight with this coming up. They opened it up with a knock on to Wooly, I think it was, yeah, and Sharpshot is trying to get him up right now. So that is the 2 players that was holding the south side of it that they have taking away some time from here. So they're going to play this and try to push it or play under it. There's a deep enough that they can actually play off this.
I was going to say, the question is whether Wildcard really wants to force that fight with shoot to kill, because if another team reads that the fight is on Heaven is going on, they'll try and get up there. They even probably want to focus on what's coming from the north before they focus on what's happening below them.
That's a big knock. They're going to try and push out on this one. Flood and Zoidmate are the only things holding Omaken back now. Zoidmate's going to get the peek. He should be able to see him first, but T-Bone, so quick to react, has the help of Vazku, and now they know that the tree that Flood's at. T-Bone, did he see him? I don't think he did. Now he saw the peek. He absolutely saw the little peek come out there and takes the head off. T-Bone, the #1 kill leader, I think, of this tournament so far.
We say it time and time again. Every single time Omaken gets a chance to convert a map situation into a Sanok fight, they come out on top. They showed it right there.
Exodus trying to reposition again. They've been playing off the western side here, and it have been working for them just well. Salt is actually controlling the vast majority of the south right now. All the playable space that's on the south, they have that control. Singularity now, though, taking some shots. And getting shot, actually. Kickstart's going to find Page.
Well, that came out the backside. They got to be careful that doesn't fludge him out. I was about to say, you know, the good thing for Omaken is they didn't get any damage done to them in that fight with Athletico, but the fact is they've just lost Page. That's a big, important player. Kodak's going to pop that nade off. Vazku's in trouble. He gets down, and it is a LATAM brawl, all aimed at Omaken.
Singularity is doing a really good job and holding off, but still pushing in with the circle. We're in phase 5. If you get knocked out there, you are down and dusted. For we push forward, constantly Kodak does go down. After being knocked, it's going to go down to the blue, but the remaining guys slowly pushing from tree to tree alongside the circle inside the next one.
Exalt down south have slowly worked and taken down Exodus to 1. It's just PatCaps remaining down there, so they're controlling the entire south side, and it is that smoke that PatCaps has us keeping him aligned. Ival knocked. He was on the outskirts, so he's gone. It's going to be just T-Bone remaining for Omaken. This is all playing out so great. Still 9 teams standing, so no placement points either. That was a great headshot from Killdemo.
Well, you got to keep in mind as well, half this circle is open, unplayable terrain. I mean, once the circle, if the circle goes south now, there's nothing. There's nothing in this circle.
Yeah, this is going to be a slaughterhouse in Mansion, actually. PatCap's going to be found soon by Exalt, and they're going to be having so much playable space in the south. Remember, they're actually sitting on 6 with 94 points just before this game here. So they're looking very good to reach up in those ranks and maybe get in further into the top 3.
T-Bone is literally the other side of that ridge where they are right now. They're trying to smoke that approach and go that way. They're flashing it to push it. and T-Bone is ready and waiting. Should be able to get the shots down, but is a standard trade, and that means Omaken go down outside the placements with just 6 kills. It will gain them some points, but not enough with just 2 games remaining.
It will still gain them points on WTSG,
yeah,
so it's
not
5+ points, but they will need to have 2 massive games in the end with WTSG
what,
having
29 points it'll be down
something
to.
like that.
That's still a mega performance required.
I'm calling it right now. I think PatCap is going to get second place. No one's going to expect him down there at all.
Exalt have been wiping him out, so Exalt 100% know that he's down
Demo.
there.
Oops.
Killed Demo's naded his teammate. That's not what you want when Singularity are pushing you. Oath are going straight into Exalt. Exalt should be able to catch him out unless Wolf gets run down. Monkey does manage to mow him down. In comes Exalt to try and block him off there with a vehicle, so Reload gets picked off, and Shinboy is also finished off from Wildcard out on the side, and that
car added to the perfect
I was going to say, they have the Ford now. They have the Ford.
Actually perfect. Shiv is going to probably pick up Nailub. Oh, Nailub is on the heavy fire as well. This could be important for them. They don't want to lose too many players. If they want to win this game, they need to be able to control all of the south and try to get some points from it.
There's a vehicle there. They can't shoot him.
Smoke and a vehicle looks like they're going to be able to pick him up and get a great position. PatCap's just got an absolute gift.
Yeah, but look at him. He is absolutely pinned. Wooly knows exactly where he is. The whole of Wildcard. They're trying to get as many points as they can here. They do get Raspo down. Kill Demo also finished off by Example. That's literally just the remnants of what has happened in Mansion. So Exalt have managed to keep 4 alive, and now they've got 4 vehicles in that compound that they've just built themselves.
I mean, for Wildcard right now, they're sitting in 11th. If they can get, let's just say 10 kills and the top 3 placement here, they have a lot of teams they're going to be surpassing, and that's a lot of money they can all of a sudden play for in the final 2 games.
Yeah, exactly. They really want to get into the prize money, and with that performance, it definitely could be pushing themselves in the top 6, maybe even further.
I mean, that's a nice dip they have. If the next circle does shift south and forces Wildcard out, they've gone for a flush. They're sweeping round. So Kickstart's up on high, but the rest of the team have dropped down low to try and sweep on shoot to kill. They know that Exalt are not really peeking too much. They're going for the high ground, looking at Wooly. Wooly's kind of drawing their attention, and they need to try and sweep around. They can't come out of this compound without shoot to kill being killed.
Exactly. There's the only way down this hill is to the east. There's no way they're going to jump over it. I mean, they could try. I don't think that would work. But I mean, there's no way they take this fight to shoot to kill now.
I want to see the pincer move.
Oh,
2 guys around the back. This is great for Exalt. They're laughing right now.
So
I can hear Yannick laughing out in the
this circle,
right now.
looking straight across the middle line, there is a mound, almost a mound, which is why you're seeing Exalt sat here. They have this beautiful ridge line. So all the Americans in the north right now are in serious trouble and have to fight each other.
I think if you're Wildcard, the smart play to make, honestly, might just be taking vehicles. I mean, you can see Wooly actually right now going into a gun. Sharp is doing the exact same thing. They cannot run down that hill because they'll be shot at by Exalt, who can see shoot to kill, and shoot to shoot at them as well. This is a smart play. Smoke them off, get the vehicles down the hill, make a fort on the edge of the circle, and see what you can do from there, because shoot to has to move as well. If they can move on the inside of them first, they're going to be golden.
They see Tornado Energy in the field. That's the problem. That's what's kind of slowly stopped their approach there. They just came down in the vehicles, and luckily for them, Exalt also paying attention now. Beautiful headshot through the Dacia, I think that one was as well. Managed to land it, but Wildcard are almost in the circle, but shoot to kill, land the first hit.
That's a massive
for them.
That's good timing in that one. Danish synchronization.
I got some backing singers here, ladies and gentlemen, keeping themselves in some massive, apparently it's a big Danish word, massive.
Massive, mega, all the M's are coming out from these casters here.
So, who's going to come out on top? I mean, Exalt, this is great for them. They had a really good start to the tournament, but they're down in 6th place, but on 94 points right now. So they're going to have to try and make ground. That will catch them back onto Liquid, onto Omaken, onto Singularity, and try and chase it down. But it is between the Americans right now as Exalt gets the knock. Shoot to kill, try and move out of this one, but they lose on Civil in the process. Keenan will steal the kill away.
This is where the patience from Wildcard is going to pay off. Oftentimes we've been critical to them, saying you're not playing aggressive enough. The fact that they're taking their time here is giving them chances, but Halo, they forgot about him in the smoke. Now one does go down, but Wildcard, in the end, they do get elimination onto shoot to kill.
Yeah, but it cost them, didn't it? They've got 1-2 knocks so far. Tornado Energy do manage to try and benefit from this one. As example, ups and peaks, 6 kills and counting for the Tornado Energy guys. They're also down in the dumps at the moment in 10th place, and it's Exalt. They are starting to sweep the circle, looking for kills.
This is very great for Exalt. They're pushing up. 6 kills, as you said. Oh my god, look at that nade! Example, though. insane. He's going to be found immediately. Kompot is the last player for Tornado Energy.
I did say the Patcaps were going to get second, didn't I?
I mean, they know exactly where he is. Yeah, Shiv's just staring at him the whole time, so they know exactly where he is. Shiv's going looking for him.
That's
Shiv, the utility player of Exalt, not a position he's too happy about, but he plays it out anyway. The nades are just going to flush him out eventually here, and it should go down unless he can find... Oh, he took the helmet. Took the helmet. Shiv losing the helmet there. Hasn't got a great deal left. Tell a lie, he's still there. And they will take him down. Easy stuff in the end for Exalt. 9 kills and counting. But it was a messy, messy performance for everybody in the top 4.
Whenever those circles started going down south, I think multiple teams were like, we're not getting through the forest. And then the thing is, you cannot bring a car through the forest, but you need the car when you get out on the other side. Teams realized there was nothing they could do.
Monkey's just too good at this game. 6 kills,
yeah,
all the guys 1-1-1. And look at Yannick, he's just laughing still from the guy. Once they got the southern circle, they were just laughing from there.
Yeah, it is good to see, you know, Udir, now IGL for the team, I believe, has kind of been let off the leash a little bit, I feel. Obviously, he was with the G2. He was always the support player for a long time behind Chris and Brexco. But he seems to have got a new lease of life. Obviously, it didn't quite work out for him with the Reciprocity guys. Now, obviously, moving along with some of those former teammates into Exalt, it seems to be benefiting for them very well.
And also Exodus, they're actually going to get 9 points from this game. That's going to put them at 100, so they're going to be looking very pretty going into the last 2 games to try to get a bigger chunk of this prize pool.
I mean, normally you say when you have 1 player left alive, like we saw with Xiong, if you can get 1 point, if you can get 2 points, it's going to be, you know what, I mean, there wasn't our game, but at least we got something. How much did Patcaps get when he got I think it was like 1 kill, 0 points when his entire team was dead, right? He's going to get 8 points off of staying alive for that long. That's great.
Yeah, it was a rough circle, and, you know, Omaken are going to be looking back in this one and thinking we should have been on Heaven quicker. Unfortunately for them, they didn't arrive, I think, in Yazdire until, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And they were already pretty quick at 4 minutes into Heaven, where before Wildcard beat them there. Of course, for Wildcard, they pretty much go straight across school and apartments. They managed to get the loot and get out as quickly as possible.
In my opinion, the Yasnaya team should be having that compound. They either loot it, and
or send one straight to it.
Or send one straight to it after looting maybe library or police station, in my opinion.
You say that now, but we're taking one thing out of it. Inside games played 4 in 1 vehicle. You don't only have you rely a lot on the not hard spawns, but the open vehicles. I don't think we don't have a cam on it, but I don't think there was a lot of like random spawn vehicles in that area, because we saw 2 teams, as you said, 4 in 1 car. They just weren't ready to move when they had to.
Well, the winning team was Exalt, and thankfully they're standing by with Cat.
Orango. We love to see those kind of games. Oh my gosh, I'm joined on the floor with Monkeys from Exalt. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you were tied for 5th with Shoot to Kill before that game. A lot of that top-heavy teams went out early. How are you guys going to change your next couple games to try to squeeze your way through those next top spots on the leaderboard?
I think we are not going to change anything. We are just playing our game style. Now it's working, I guess, because the first few games we played on Aeronjet was really bad, and now we just managed to win a game. So we just continue like this.
No, that was absolutely insane. So that terrain right then and there, I believe now, I'm sorry to throw this out there, one of your teammates got hit by a car. Right? And then one of your team, oh, that was you. Oh, I'm so sorry, got hit by a car, but your team came in clutch. Talk me through that situation there and why your teammate came and saved your life.
I mean, we were ready for Yao, like ex-Yao to come to us, so we are just holding them most likely. I got run over by Dacia, but insta-revenge by my teammate, so it's enough, I guess.
Well, thank you so much for those wise words from you. Now we're going to cut to a short break, and after that, we have the last 2 matches of the tournament.
Nice! Let's go. Let's go.
Don't just watch PUBG, compete as well. Competitive ELO and ranking system. Climb the ladder. Start your path to pro. Head over to play.gll.gg. The best PUBG platform.